Hello and welcome back. A few days ago the 4.0 patch has been released in NA, and with it we got many new class changes. The short summarization is that every class got between 2 and 5 new skills, and the existing skills got changed substantially. Primarily the cooldown of most skills got reduced. Today we start with the Sorcerer. The Sorcerer gains 2 new skills with this patch. Balao Seeker. This is a 4-second cast that deals a lot of damage and knocks the enemy back. And the second skill is Conflagration. This is the third chain skill of Flame Bolt. So first Flame Bolt, then Blaze, and then the new Conflagration skill. While this only deals damage, it actually deals a good amount with very little cooldown. And that's all for the new skills of the Sorcerer. However, there are many changes to the existing skills of the Sorcerer. Let's take a look. We just talked about the Blaze skill, so let's cover it first. Blaze decreased the target's magic resist by 50 in the 3.7 patch, but now in the 4.0 patch it decreases the magic resist by 200 for 30 seconds. It was on a 30-second cooldown and now it only has a 16-second cooldown. Wind Spear had a small chance to reduce the target's movement speed for 5 seconds. Now it is a guaranteed slow for 10 seconds. Okay, next let's cover all the sleep spells in one. With that I mean the skills Sleep, Curse of Roots, Curse of Old Roots, and Sleeping Storm. Previously it increased the target's elemental defenses while it was asleep. This is now gone. The enemy is just asleep and gains no stats during it. Next we have Wind Cutdown. There are 2 changes to it. First, the cast time is reduced from 1.5 seconds to 1 second. And in the 3.7 patch it caused the enemy to bleed for 6 seconds. Now it reduces the target's elemental defenses by 150 for 12 seconds. This one is big. Weisel's Wisdom is no longer a stigma skill, and instead it is acquired automatically at level 37. Additionally to that, instead of lasting only 15 seconds, it now lasts 20 seconds. Stamina Absorption deals damage to a target and absorbs 100% of the damage's HP. And with this new patch, it also absorbs 50% of the damage as MP. The cooldown also got reduced from 1 minute to 30 seconds. Elemental Ward has its duration decreased from 1 minute to 40 seconds, and the cooldown is also reduced from 3 minutes to 2 minutes. Boon of Ironclad previously only blocked physical attacks, but now it blocks any kind of damage. Then we have 2 more spells, Flame Harpoon and Freezing Wind. Both of these skills now scale with your enchantment level. And now we have a huge list of skills that have simply their cooldowns reduced. And that is pretty much it for the Sorcerer Changes. But I have one more thing to show you. With the Luminous class being released and her being able to boost her own skills, she can also boost some of the other classes' skills. For the Sorcerer there are 2 skills that can be boosted. The first one is Magic Assist, which is kinda funny because the boosted version of this skill does the exact same thing as the standard version, but do not forget that their cooldowns are separate, basically meaning double the uptime. And the second skill is Sleeping Storm, which gains a bit more range with its AoE and it can hit up to 10 enemies instead of the standard 6 targets. So as I said, keep in mind that the standard versions and the boosted versions of these skills have a separate cooldown. And in some cases they can be activated together without overriding each other. At this point I do not know where this is the case and where it isn't. Let's get to the Spiritmaster now. The Spiritmaster gets 4 new skills. The first one is Ritual Push. This skill deals water damage and additional damage if the target is a Balaur. While it does have a 2.5 second cast time, it only has 8 seconds cooldown. The second skill is Magic's Freedom. This reduces the target's magic offset by 200 for 15 seconds. And now we have two new Stigma skills. The first one is Earthen Call. It removes any movement impairments and increases the immobilization resistance and the movement speed reduction resistance by 1000 for 10 seconds. And that without cast time and a cooldown of only 1 minute. And the second new Stigma skill is Command Bodyguard. The spirit casts a protective shield on you and a target within 20 meters. The shield blocks all damage for 20 seconds and that on a 3-minute cooldown. I sadly do not know how strong this shield actually is. These were the new skills of the Spiritmaster, and now let's get to the changes of the previously existing skills. Let's start with Spirit Substitution. This was initially a Stigma skill, but now it is automatically acquired with level 48. The cooldown got also reduced from the previous 10 minutes to now only 3 minutes. Sigil of Silence is another skill that was a Stigma skill in 3.7, but now with 4.0 you automatically acquire it with level 28. The Sigma skill Blessing of Fire now only lasts 30 seconds instead of 1 minute, but to make up for it, the cooldown is also reduced from 2 minutes and 30 seconds to only 1 minute. The Summon Group Member skill now doesn't require an item anymore. And additionally, its cooldown is also reduced from 10 minutes to 3 minutes. This makes it much more comfortable to use, and with the 4.0 map being quite expensive to travel around in, it certainly is nice if you play with a Spiritmaster in your group. Okay, let's get to a big change now. Vacuum Choke. It loses its AoE range and becomes a single target spell again. But there is more to it. It has no cast time anymore, and you can use it while you move. You're not stuck in an animation anymore. You can also multicast it 2 additional times. The cooldown goes up from 1 second to 3 seconds, and the MP cost also goes up from 200 mana to 300 mana. And lastly, the damage of Vacuum Choke is now scaling with your enchantment level. Next up with big changes we have the Stigma skill Absorb Vitality. Previously it absorbed 100% of the damage as HP, and now it absorbs only 70% of the damage, but as HP and MP. New to this is if your target is a player, you will do additional damage to him. I personally did not get the chance to test this, but apparently you get around 30% more PvP damage. But it's not done yet. The cast time got removed and it can be used whilst moving. And now let's get to an entire list of skills that have only their cooldowns reduced. And that is pretty much it for the Spiritmaster changes. But, as always, I have one more thing to show you. With the Luminous class being released and her being able to boost her own skills, she can also boost some of the other classes' skills. For the Spiritmaster, there are 2 skills that can be boosted. First, Spiritual Bond, which initially increased your and your spirit's magic boost by 300 and the magic accuracy by 200 for 2 minutes. The boosted version increases the magic boost by 350 and the magic accuracy stays the same with 200. And the second skill is Fear Shriek. The boosted version of Fear Shriek then only has a 1 second cast time instead of the previous 1.5 seconds. Now these boosted versions don't seem as amazing as other classes' boosts, but you have to keep in mind that the standard versions and the boosted versions of these skills have a separate cooldown. And I would say having a double Fear Shriek is a pretty huge thing. And that is pretty much it for the Sorcerer and the Spiritmaster. Since NA has not put out detailed patch notes, it is quite difficult to get all the skill changes right. so it could easily be that I missed a few changes, but that should be the majority of it. Let me know which 2 classes we should cover next, and what your opinion on these changes are. Have a nice day, and see you next time. Bye!